kamili.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards stands for a world of standards, an assurance that any product manufactured in Kenya or one that gets into Kenya is fit for human use. At the Kenya Bureau of Standards, quality is more than a way of life. It is all we are. It is a commitment to consumers that products do not just meet exceptional quality standards, but that the consumers' lives too turn out exceptionally as well. Our motto, quality products for quality life. Our symbols, the standardization mark for locally manufactured products, the import standardization mark for products imported into Kenya, and the diamond mark for superior quality excellence. These symbols are the Kenya Bureau of Standards guarantee for quality, indeed a quality life. And these symbols consumers have learned not just to trust, but to depend on.
Kila siku nikikuja supermarket lazima niangalie hii mark ya Kenya Bureau of Standards. Bila hiyo mark siwezi nunua kitu. Juu ni kumaanisha ukiona hii Kenya Bureau of Standards, hii mark ya Kenya Bureau of Standards, hiyo kitu imehalalishwa.
Standing here as a mother, and KEBS, you're doing such a good thing. As you say, children are saying they won't take products because they don't have the ESMA. That is good because we can see we are moving forward.
The country now can start looking back and see quality as a basis of development of the industrial system and also in supporting consumer and consumerism. This is what the standardization mark is all about, to be able to build capacity in industry and to be able to bring up the consumer knowledge on the products coming from our local industry.
Hakikisha iko na alama ya Kenya Bureau of Standards, the only the standardization mark.
But it was not always so. It took concerted efforts by the Kenya Bureau of Standards beginning late 2006 to upgrade its capacity for testing, introduce and implement the standardization marks, and popularize them among the consuming public. The period in between then saw a hive of activity at the Kenya Bureau of Standards, beginning with increasing the operational budget more than 5 times from just under $500 million shillings a year to well over 2.5 billion shillings. The result, the latest and most specific testing equipment, as well as highly trained personnel to ensure that whatever product carries the KEBS mark does indeed guarantee quality.
We offer calibration services in the field of density and viscosity, and we maintain standards in that field.
If people say this food has got carbohydrates or vitamin D, and actually doesn't have even a trace of it, we need a reference system, and that system will be provided by KEBS, so that the consumer and the person also manufacturing can have a meeting point which is controlled or activated by standardization. These are the things you are looking at.
This is the facility where all samples coming for testing in KEBS are received and documented before they are taken to laboratories for testing. The documentation process follows our test procedures, specifically one for sample handling. Here samples are identified. They are given a unique KEBS number, which we are able to trace the sample all the way from receipt to the issue of a test report.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards, empowered by the law, requires all products intended for sale in the country to be submitted here before onward marketing. What then follows is thorough sampling and testing to ensure that the product does not just offer what it promises, but also meets quality standards.
Nutritional elements are useful. We need them in our foods. We have to know the contents. So we are using these equipments over here, like the atomic absorption spectrophotometer, to determine how much of that particular element is there.
What we do here basically is to determine the safety of the food products that are consumed by citizens. We determine whether food products have pathogens. Pathogens are disease-causing microorganisms. We also determine whether there are spoilage microorganisms. Spoilage microorganisms are those which make food go bad. They make food lose its aesthetic value.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards currently runs 13 laboratories, 10 in Nairobi and the rest in Mombasa and Kisumu, and this ensures capacity to test anything and in good time. Operations at the office in Mombasa proceed round the clock to ensure that as importers get their cargo cleared by the Kenya Ports Authority, KEBS too has determined if they are fit for consumption in the country.
Here we're testing an electrical kettle. Here we're doing performance tests. We're testing the boiling time. And the requirement is that it should meet 90% as specified in our Kenya standard for it to be allowed into the market.
All our equipment are calibrated, and the calibration itself ensures that the readings or the data we get or the measurements we make are traceable to the international system of measurement, that is the SI units.
And when it comes to standardization marks, the Kenya Bureau of Standards has ensured that products it certifies can pass any test in any part of the world, further affirming the Bureau's commitment to quality standards and quality life.
When we put an S mark like this one which is on it, it means we are taking responsibility to say that this product actually complies with the standard.
For purposes of measurement, we are offering traceability solutions so that if something is measured here and also measured somewhere in South Africa, there should be some equivalence. And that's basically what metrology laboratories are offering for the Kenyan industry.
As is to be expected in many instances when change is introduced, KEBS faced its fair share of resistance, many companies viewing the standardization marks as an unnecessary inconvenience, some branding it among impediments to doing business in the country. KEBS has, however, always stood its ground that consumer safety comes first.
The deadline for the registration for the purposes of the standardization mark remains October 1st, 2008. But the implementation be postponed, be moved from October 1st, 2008 to March 1st, 2009. This will enable the supply chain to prepare for Christmas inventory and have ample time to sell off any stock.
While KEBS engaged manufacturers over how to implement the standardization marks, the world was being treated to thousands of infant deaths as melamine-contaminated milk from China claimed as many children as came into contact with it.
Today morning we banned the importation of milk and milk products, or what we call milk food and food products from China and the proximity region around China.
At the Kenya Bureau of Standards, consumer protection is paramount. It is non-negotiable. And this is a concept entrenched in all staff, beginning with the managing director.
The people who are resisting this thing can see now the dangers of this kind of problems. And of course, if we had 53,000 children in hospital, if we had, which hospitals would we put them in? This is why we are saying we need quality products for quality life. And that's why we are looking into all what is imported, which has an impact on human health, especially children.
The relationship between KEBS and industry is not adversarial, but a partnership to ensure that the Kenyan consumer is served with that which is of highest quality. It is with this in mind that the standardization mark implementation date was set. The Bureau engaged manufacturers in various seminars and workshops to clarify all outstanding issues, which led to a close to 100% compliance rate by the due date.
The date has finally come by, 1st of March. The standardization mark status is specified there before. And if you look now at the supermarkets and the outlets for products manufactured in Kenya, the compliance is over 80%.
ISM marks, we have issued 8,149. SM marks, we have issued throughout the country 4,900.
From the deadlines, we no longer receive any stock which does not comply, either not having an S mark or IS mark, ISM.
The process of checking standardization marks is equally thorough. All marks are registered in a central database at the Kenya Bureau of Standards, and this ensures that any counterfeit marks are detected promptly, all the time, ensuring that consumer safety is protected.
It was issued, this S mark now.
This S mark, yes.
Issued on 9, on 9th of February, 2009.
Unscrupulous people thought that we are not going to verify, or there are too many, but we are not. It's a question of time before we catch up with them as we are doing now.
The bag has been satisfied by you, it has the mark.
Now, the smaller quantities that I'm doing have not been brought here for test. And this bag cannot last in my store even for a week. And I want to serve my people. Would you bear with us and allow us that once we have bought these things from the suppliers, then I won't be put in a scenario where I'll be made not to continue with that stock before the smaller denominations that I'm doing are brought here for test? That's my question.
It is not even KEBS insisting, it is going to be a self-driven, customer-driven exercise. So in that context, since you are doing business, you will want people to have confidence to buy.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards maintains an open policy, which means that our technicians are always on hand with technical advice, which goes beyond testing to ensure that manufacturers produce quality products.
Within a period of time, the number of failures or the number of samples that do not comply has been decreasing over the period of time. As I've said, it's because of the hard work which is being done by our quality assurance team in advising the manufacturers on how to improve the quality.
In partnership with the Kenya National Federation of Juakali, Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute KIRDI, and the Kenya Industrial Property Institute KIPI, the Kenya Bureau of Standards is committed to ensuring that at least 50 products manufactured in Kenya access the global market before 2015, having met international standards. So far, the arc welding machine made in Kenya has passed all standards and is being marketed outside the country.
This is the day that has come for us as a Ministry of Industrialization, Kenya, to stand on the right foundation upon which industrialization is going to be laid on, as the ministry was formed last year. And the right foundation is to associate with the right stone called Juakali.
Make it competitive and acceptable, not nationally, but internationally, so that we can manufacture them and sell.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards is aware of its central role as the country aspires to become a middle-income country in the next 20 years, as well detailed in the Economic Blueprint Vision 2030. Indeed, the theme for the World Standards Day, 23rd October 2008, was Buildings, the Bureau committing to the country's vision of eradicating slums.
Vile unavyojenga, sioni kama unafuata standard zote zimewekwa za building na Kenya Bureau of Standard. Kwa sababu kwanza nyumba lazima uwe na plan. Hiyo jambo la kwanza.
Plan ndio anajenga au ni mimi?
I want to challenge the country, particularly the Kenya Bureau of Standards, that you must join us in giving us standards, in giving us proposals for the law that we are going to create for the elimination of slums.
At the Kenya Bureau of Standards, quality products for quality life is not just a slogan. It is a way of life, a commitment that you can depend on us for a quality life.
This pillar of standardization, which is a conformity assessment pillar, it is now being strengthened to help the country realize gains in safe food, safe merchandise, and safe trading system. This is within our mandate, and we will pursue it to the ultimate end.
Kenya Bureau Standards. Bidhaa zenu ni bora na Kenya Bureau Standards. Wana Kenya wote. Bidhaa zenu ni bora na Kenya Bureau Standards. Kayamba tunasema bidhaa zenu ni bora na Kenya Bureau Standards.